Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the United Way for part 2 of the Transfer News Show, covering up all the important and latest Manchester United news. Transfer news. I suppose, Rahul, will I get a start off for part 2?
Yeah.
Bit of news about Andreas Pereira. Fenerbahce have registered an interest in Andreas Pereira, but he has also been told he will be given an opportunity to impress Erik ten Hag during the summer tour. Man United would consider offers around €8 million for Andreas Pereira, and Benfica are also looking at him. That was from Rob Dawson from the ESPN. So, I mean, Rahul, Andreas Pereira, do you think it's best if he goes?
I think it's. I think given our options, I'd rather keep Pereira than actually let him go. Because I mean, we don't. It's not like we have Keane and Scholes in our midfield, So
Yeah.
I'd keep him because of his tenacity. He's Brazilian as well.
Yeah.
I think. He has really good skills. He's good at shooting from outside the box. And his deliveries are really good as well. I think he's not what Manchester United need, but given up the current situation, I'd rather keep him. And I think Ten Hag would probably keep him as well.
Yeah, I mean, he is a good player. Obviously, he's not the best player, but as you said, the way Manchester United are going in the transfer window, we'll need to keep a few players. We'll end up seeing Hannibal start next season. Listen, Andreas Pereira, I don't think there's any need to talk much about him. Yeah, people always call him pre-season Pirlo because he always plays well in the pre-season. Then when it comes down to the business end, the Premier League, he kind of goes off. The form kind of dips. Pre-season Pirlo could impress.
But under Ten Hag and the right system, and the right coaching, he may do well. Who knows,
That's it. Right, Rahul, do you want to get a start off on your news?
Yeah. So there's this news coming in from Laurie Whitwell. So Erik ten Hag will for sure take a look at James Garner in the preseason campaign after his spell with Nottingham Forest. So James Garner has basically displayed a good mature mentality at Forest, taking them into the Premier League as well. So Ten Hag is interested into having another look at him and see what's going to happen. And this is coming out from Laurie Whitwell. So as you know, he's basically a club representative. So I think that this is good, because James Garner is realistically a proper CDM.
Yeah, we need him.
Obviously, he's not going to be our first choice player, but realistically, the team that we actually have right now, I'd actually play him as my first choice. CDM.
Honestly, that season he had, honestly, I'd be surprised if Ten Hag doesn't keep him. Hope he doesn't send him out alone or anything like that. James Garner is top quality. I mean, we've seen it, as you said, with Nottingham Forest. What a player he was in the midfield. Very calm with the ball. I'm not going to say he reminds me of Paul Scholes or anything like that, but he is a good player for his age as well. You wouldn't expect it from a player of that age. Better than McTominay, I think. I really think he's better than McTominay. I really, really do.
I think if you have Garner and De Jong, I'd be a little more confident, in midfield.
Yeah, well, but you could have Donny, James Garner, De Jong, Van de Beek, James Garner, De Jong.
But then you'd have to bench Bruno then.
That's it. I can't see Bruno being benched at all.
Yeah, either that or play him on the right wing.
Well, no. Well, if you don't get Antony, we might have to look at another season at that, Rahul. But yeah, James Garner will be a player I would keep 100% and give him a chance because he can definitely live up to it. But again, people who are watching the video, let us know in the comments whether you would like to see James Garner be in the starting 11 next season for Manchester United. I also have news and this is getting closer and closer to the important business end of the video, but it's also Manchester United have made an offer for Frenkie de Jong of 50 million euros. Barcelona want 80 million euros. As I said, the more we get into the video, the more this news will come better, if you want to say. But me and Rahul, from 100 million, 80 million to 50 million, it's not bad, is it? It's not all bad. Let's just say that.
No, but then 100 million was unrealistic from the start. You know,
Yeah,
I don't think anyone would probably pay 100 million. You know, even a PSG wouldn't do that. I mean, there's a limit to how inflated you can make a player. You know, the price tag. I think 80 million was probably the highest you could go for De Jong. So 50 million is reasonable, given that no one else is interested in him at the moment.
That's it. And I do think if Liverpool went in for that, or a City, or a Chelsea, or I don't know, PSG, he would go for them quicker than United. So United, if they're gonna get him now, and don't mess around.
I think it's really surprising that a player like De Jong is available, and there's no interest from Man City, Liverpool, or any of these big clubs. I think it could be either that they're actually talking and they're talking behind the scenes, and there's no coverage of that. That's possible. And then realistically, at the end stage of the deal, they just suddenly, out of the blue, announce that Liverpool signing De Jong. That could just happen. Or realistically, the deal, De Jong, Manchester United, and Ajax have already basically set terms and have agreed the deal. And this is just basically filling out the formalities. So other clubs are basically, been told that the deal is done and we can't do a deal with you. So I think that's realistically one of the two options.
Yeah, pretty much, Rahul. Pretty much. I'm going to ask you this at the very, very end of would you like De Jong and how confident are you of getting De Jong? But we'll get to that at the end. But Rahul, do you want to throw any other transfer news at us, or do you have any?
So this is coming in from the Sky. So Manchester United want Ibrahim Sangare. United are interested in PSV's Ibrahim Sangare. He has his heart set on the move to England and is convinced he will be a Premier League player next season. So the guy is a monster in midfield and would be a fantastic replacement for either Fred or McTominay. So this is coming in from Sky. I would love to have Sangare. I think this is a guy again coming in from the Dutch league, from PSV. PSV are Ajax's arch rivals. So Ten Hag would know everything about Sangare. And Sangare at PSV last season had the most tackles, the most interceptions. Basically the most energetic player you could find in midfield. And if you actually go in for him, you get him for like 30 million. If you negotiate right. I'm surprised United aren't linked to him before, given that we actually need a CDM. So this is a signing I'd be more happy. Actually, I'd be more happier to have him than De Jong, to be honest.
Well, he's a DM, is he?
He's a DM. And if you look at him,
he's worth how much again? Do you know? 20 million?
Probably like 30 million.
That's a bargain.
35.
That's a bargain.
Yeah.
If you ask me.
A guy who's had the most tackles, most interceptions in the Dutch league last season.
Yeah. I mean, to be honest with you, I would be happy if we got De Jong. I'd be happy if we got any player this season, to be honest with you, Rahul. As long as it's not rip off. And I would like either either to be brutally honest with you. But again, back to De Jong. It's just that's all it's been. It's De Jong. I'm not trying to sit here and let's talk about De Jong, because I did have a full rant about him on the United Way News show. If you checked out the little clip I put up, so I'm not a person that would be over the top want to talk about a player, but just came out this morning. Manchester United are increasingly confident of signing Frankie de Jong. United hope to conclude a deal for the 25-year-old swiftly. That was from Talk Sport, but then it came around from other sources as well. And also, it is understood that Frankie de Jong wants to join Man United this summer, with the Old Trafford club accelerating their attempts to land him. United have made an initial offer for Frankie de Jong, but the two clubs are yet to reach an agreement. That was from Sammy Mockbell, for pronouncing that right. Again, Rahul, back to Frankie de Jong. I'm guessing you would like him at the club, would you? I'll just get your thoughts on that bit of news there first.
I mean, look, it's one of those cycles, as you know, we had the same cycle going on a few years ago with Griezmann. He was he was one of the best players, top three players in the world, behind Ronaldo and Messi. And United were basically people were already, assuming that he's going to be a United player. And at the whole season, the whole transfer window revolved around that. I think I see the same sort of similarity between that and this. I think it's just people know that how attached De Jong, how attached Manchester United fans are to De Jong because of his reputation. So they're just trying to spin something up. I think United fans are past that. I think we've been through it all. I think we just like to see proper footballing, transfers like Sangare, rather than getting us another Galactico. We don't want Galacticos anymore. I see De Jong as he is a Galactico kind of a signing because of money you're paying for him. I wouldn't pay a penny above 50 million pounds, to be honest. Because that's how we have to operate if our budget is actually 120 million pounds. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
So, yeah.
Exactly, Rahul. And guessing you have other bit of news.
Yeah. So this isn't really a transfer news, but I think it's as important. So Mike Phelan has been told he won't be a part of United's first team setup under Ten Hag, and the discussions over an exit are continuing with United. So this is coming in from Tyrone Marshall from MEN. I have no clue about him, but I think this is I think it's a more credible sort of, I wouldn't say outlet, but I think the news is credible because I just don't think Mike Phelan would ever fit into a Ten Hag system.
No way.
So I think the way, I think this is an inevitable thing, and I think I'm happy that it's happening. So they're just saying that Eric Ten Hag is set to bring in more arrivals over the next few weeks as he concludes the makeup of his staff with Manchester United. And MUFC want to keep Eric Ramsey as part of Ten Hag's backroom staff, despite the coach being on the shortlist to take over Barnsley's, the next manager of Barnsley, basically. So if Eric Ramsey stays at United, he will work with Ten Hag's assistant Mitchell van der Gaag and Steve McLaren. And with the new manager now finalizing his backroom staff and details, who will be involved, basically running sessions at Carrington are going to be coming out soon. So they're going to be new arrivals. And Eric Ten Hag is set to retain his faith in the existing goalkeeping coaches, Richard Hartis and Craig Mawson. So at least one of them had made inquiries with other clubs, and they had fears that they'd be replaced by Ten Hag. So the coaching setup is going to remain the same, but obviously Ten Hag is going to be bringing in more. It's not just Van der Gaag and Paul and Steve McLaren as his team. This team is going to be like at least like 7 or 8. Like Conte has 10 people there with him working. So I'm really happy now that he's going to bring in this team. And obviously Mike Phelan, as good as he is, I think he would have taken away all the important information from him and just told him, that's all we require of you. Now you could leave, basically.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, Mike Phelan, the only reason why we kept him is because he was a part of the club for a long time. But I mean, if you did keep him, would you be confident about next season, or just be like, well, it's my feeling, isn't it?
No, I think if you would have kept him, I think it's purely because of Ten Hag basically wanting to know more about United, and Mike Phelan, obviously he's been there and done that for a long time, so he probably want to take a lot of information from Mike Phelan about Manchester United. But I don't think that process would take as long. I think it take probably a month, and then Mike Phelan, his services won't be required. So I think I'm happy that he's going, to be honest.
I think a lot of people agree.
Yeah.
So I have last bit of news about Frankie de Jong. Again, what's new? Hold on. Right, so Barca, I believe, to want around £65 million for de Jong, and there is a growing feeling that a deal can be reached for the former Ajax star to join Man United ahead of next season. Sami Mokbel. To be honest with you, Rahul, Frankie de Jong, 65 million. Is he worth it, or would you leave and go for someone else?
As I said before, I wouldn't pay a penny over £50 million. And I'm not just I think it's a fair deal, £50 million, but not just £50 million. You could have a 15% sell-on clause added into that deal. So so Barcelona, if we decide to sell De Jong in say 3 years time, they could make like 30 million, with that sell-on clause. But I think with Barcelona, the situation with them is they want money right now. They want liquid, cash. They want money right now and not in the future. So they're obviously gonna decide to increase and inflate his price. But for me, Manchester United, they're obviously known to overpay. But 65 million pounds for me is just not worth it. I wouldn't pay 65, to be honest. I would maybe 50 million, and that's probably it for me.
So 50 million is what you're kind of looking at.
Yeah, I think because we have if De Jong doesn't come, that's fine. There are plenty other options. We don't have to waste half our budget on him. That's not how a big club operates for me.
Well, I suppose if it'll probably end up coming to that stage soon enough that we're going to get Frankie de Jong. But again, to the people who've watched the video, let us know in the comments whether you would spend £65 million on Frankie de Jong. Rahul, any other bit of news?
Yeah, this is coming in from the Times. The Times have quoted that Marcus Rashford basically wants to stay at United and try to impress Erik Ten Hag amid interest from Spurs. So Rashford has struggled for form for a while. So that people are obviously been linking him to whatever club, PSG or whatever club you want. And United fans are all obviously fed up with Rashford, and there's an interest coming in from Spurs about Marcus Rashford, but Rashford is keen to stay at the club and wants to impress Ten Hag. For me, I don't think Rashford either way. Even if the club decided to sell him, I think he'd still push for himself to stay at the club because he is. His career is here, he's settled here, and it'll profit him more if he actually stays here because he has all his foundations and whatever work he does off the field is all revolved around Manchester. So I think this is just it's more of a pay-per-view, come in clickbait kind of a thing, a news article, and it's coming from the Times. I don't really know about that source. To be honest, just to conclude it,
let's just say
Rashford,
they're not a good source, so I wouldn't.
Yeah, Marcus Rashford, I'd be happy to see him flourish, under Ten Hag system.
Yeah,
But for me,
definitely.
his mentality, I don't know really if he's able to step up. When the chips are down, how are you able to cope with the situation? It's a doubt. It's a risk, but obviously United are going to be forced to take that risk because there's no other option right now.
No, there really isn't. And Rashford, I mean, I don't remember the news a few weeks ago that we're going to sell. Rashford wants to leave. So and so wants to get rid of Rashford. Rashford might have had a bad season, but every player has a bad season. Ronaldo, Messi, all the top quality players do and still do to this day.
Yeah.
I'm kind of glad he's staying. I think he'll definitely work hard during the summer and it'll hopefully, fingers crossed, pay off next season and he'll be back up and running. But I just
Yeah.
have a bit of news here. Agent George Mendes is in talks with Man United for his client Marco Asensio from TGM46 via Madrid Extra. Not sure where it's a reliable kind of source, but it's been posted by a big channel. So, I mean, I'd imagine it's some sort of reliable. But yeah, that's been kind of a bit of my news. I do have one more bit of news, and it says the law of a reunion with Ten Hag is described as a major factor in De Jong's willingness to become a Man United Football Club player this summer. That was from Sammy Mockbell, who's a nice, reliable source. Rahul, any more news before we head or?
Yeah. So this is coming in from DiMarzio. In the last hours, United have been moving for Inter Milan's 23-year-old defender Alessandro Bastoni. So I think this is actually credible because DiMarzio obviously is Italian and he's highly regarded. He's a basically top a tier one journalist in Italy, and whatever he says, I think goes. It's like a Fabrizio Romano, and I think with this player, Alessandro Bastoni being linked with basically being an Inter Milan player, I think it's a credible source. Um, I don't really know much about Bastoni, but I think I'd be happy if we sign him. Again, I'm not sure about his value, but looks like a good signing, to be honest.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, Bastoni, but supposing he doesn't want to come to us, he'd be happy to stay at Inter Milan for another season. So who knows? Maybe we could convince him. We've convinced a few players to come to the club. They mightn't have lasted long, but we've convinced them. And well, as I said, it didn't go well. But yeah, I mean, Rahul, you can throw any news left that you have.
Yeah, so I don't have transfer news, but this is a little bit about Van Persie. So as you know, we've all wanted Van Persie, and even Ten Hag himself has wanted Van Persie at the club because of his links with the club. So he could have offered Ten Hag a lot, in regard to United and how it works. But Van Persie obviously has turned down the opportunity. So the opportunity was there for Van Persie to actually join United, regardless of whatever visa or whatever issues, work permit issues they had. The opportunity was there, and I think if Van Persie wanted to join United, I think it could have been worked out. But he's obviously turned it down.
The work permit was the problem.
Yeah. But I think it would. I think at the end of the day, I think it would have been that. I think United are a big club. I think they would have sorted that out.
Yeah. I
I
would have
think
liked Van Persie.
Yeah, but
Persie,
But the thing is that Van Persie himself has personally turned this deal down because of his affiliation to his family. Obviously, his son and his daughter
Yeah.
uh, are playing for the for his respective home team, and he's basically set in the Netherlands right now. He's not looking for a huge challenge or a huge shift. I think he's not ready for it, so he's personally turned it down. I think that's fine. I think if you're if you're not ready for it and you still come and you join, I think that's that could be a bad thing. like I would say like a David Moyes, he wasn't ready for the job and he signed for Manchester United. So I think it's fine, at least he's honest. At least he's honest, and that's all I want. So it's fine, even if he, at least we know that Manchester United were interested in him. So it's encouraging.
Yeah, and as I said, I would have liked Robin van Persie. He might have had that much experience, but he played for the club. He knows about the club. Pretty sure he still loves the club, but he just turned it down for family reasons, and the work permit was probably another problem. It could have been settled, the work permit, but
Yeah.
maybe he has other plans to go to manage a team, or he has got the experience, and as you said, he probably wasn't ready for it as well. So we thought, I don't want to come to Man United and say something wrong, and then the team falls because of me. But yeah, I wouldn't have had any problem with Robin van Persie coming to Man United. That's just my opinion.
Yeah.
Um,
And to be honest, Van Persie, maybe next season he might just join United. We never know.
maybe.
Or he could just join in between. We don't know. But the thing is, at least if he's honest and he's open, and if he's coming to Manchester United, I want him to be 100% ready, for the challenge. Not just join United because it's a something that he's passionate about doing. He has to be ready for it as well. So
yeah, exactly. And again, pretty sure a lot of people would agree or disagree with us, but let us know in the comments whether you would have liked Robin van Persie to come to United and be part of Erik ten Hag's management or backroom team. But Rahul, any more news?
Yeah, this is coming in from Talk Sport. So this is guy Alex Crook on Instagram. So he's saying that Manchester United are contemplating a surprise raid on Liverpool's Alex Oxlade-Chamberlain. If Liverpool are willing to accept a fee of £10 million, United would be seriously interested in signing him. I mean, it's a joke, I think. I don't know if someone's trying to play a prank or something. I mean, why would United sign Oxlade-Chamberlain?
I seen that news and I was like, that's just not worth posting. Oxlade-Chamberlain to United. You might as well just go and get Jurgen Klopp or sign Mohamed Salah. He's still a Liverpool player. He hates the club. Why would we sign him?
And he's played for Arsenal as well.
Exactly. So why would we sign him when he hates us? Like, it makes no sense.
I mean, regardless of him, I mean, why would we sign him anyways? Like, what's his, what are his attributes? What can he contribute to us?
No.
I mean, I think the only thing that benefits is maybe the £10 million fee, which is not much. But I mean, what he's not even a CDM. Like, what are we going to do with him?
No, exactly. And just Oxlade-Chamberlain, good luck, and he can stay. We have 9.5 minutes left for who, unless you have more news to get through quickly.
Yeah. So this is coming in from Sports Witness. Manchester United are the great favourite to sign Pau Torres and are willing to put a £50 million bid on the table for him. Basically. I think this is again, it could be true. I think United are linked with Pau Torres, for a long time. And if Julian Timber, his deal collapses, you could look.
Pau Torres is worth too much. He's worth too much. Go for Timber. That's my opinion.
Yeah. But in my opinion, even if Timber's deal collapses, I would still not sign Pau Torres just because of his age again. He's coming towards the end. I would sign an up-and-coming, defender because we already have Varane. We have experienced players. We have Lindelof. We have Varane. Maguire, even though he's not a good player, he's still experienced. So I'd rather sign a young, 22, 23-year-old defender who can actually learn from someone like a Varane,
But isn't Pau Torres like 25 though?
I think he's 25, he's 26 maybe. But for me, I'd rather, he's coming into his prime, and his price is again inflated, to 50. You won't get him less than that. You probably have to pay more, probably, I would rather sign an up-and-coming you know, 22, 23-year-old defender like Julian Timber,
Hmm.
or an alternative, you know, someone else who can play, who has the same profile as a Timber, you know,
Yeah.
because we are basically we're not a club that's um, at the top right now. We're basically restarting from scratch. You know, we need to get the basics right now. We can't sign huge, you know, 50 million pound players.
Sorry about that. I don't know whether you hear that in the background. It's just a bit of a thunder. Sorry about that. Sorry.
Yeah, that's fine, man. That's fine, no problem.
Yeah, I mean, Pau Torres, as you said, Rahul. Did you? What the hell, buddy? Did you hear that?
I mean, no, it was like for half a second, I think.
Or sorry, thought that was just thought because we were talking bad about Harry Maguire. Thought that was him, Rahul. I thought he was coming to to kill us. But any more bit of news, Rahul, before we ship off?
Yeah. So this is FC Barcelona. Basically, they have to pay. They need 500 million euros to save the club. That's been reported. I don't really have a source, but
You
that's the
said
rumor
that.
going
Oh,
around.
sorry. What did you say again?
You know, basically Barcelona, they need 500 million euros to actually save their club.
That's probably why they're giving us Jong for cheaper than
Yeah.
expected.
Yeah, I mean 500 million euros to save their clubs. You know, I mean it just says, you know, the mistakes that Barcelona made, you know, signing Felipe Coutinho for 120, 150 million pounds, and signing Dembele for 120, and then they signed 2 or 3 players, you know, who were basically highly priced players, you know, and they went into this huge loss because none of those players actually basically they weren't good at the club, you know. So it
No,
just
that's it.
says that we can't be signing these Galactico players, you know. We're not in this position. And look what bad deals have done to Barcelona. You know, it's made them bankrupt almost. So
Yeah.
that's why I'd just be careful, and that's why I'm very cautious about signing players like De Jong, you know,
Yeah, well, I
who are going
think
to
we're gonna
cost
get
us
him.
65. Yeah.
Yeah, again, and that's pretty much with Frankie De Jong. Just we have nearly 4 minutes left for Hill. If you just want to let you run through all the news you have, or do you have any left?
Yeah, I mean, just to summarize everything that we just talked about. Okay, yeah, this is coming in from Rob Dawson, ESPN. United are looking at signing Christopher Nkunku. Again, for me, this is a guy who's good, but he's going to cost you about 80 million pound again.
We're not getting him.
Yeah, I mean, look, it's great, you know. It's like the shiny toy, you know, that you want at the supermarket or whatever, but you just don't have the money to buy it.
Yeah,
You can't just you know, mortgage your house and go and buy that. That's just stupid. Okay, just to summarize everything, I think United. There's obviously a lot of reports like Declan Rice, as you said. Then there's Darwin Nunez. Then there's De Jong, Pau Torres. There's all these reports coming in, but probably out of like 5 of them, probably one of them is true. So you have to, as a United fan, I'd encourage every United fan to keep in mind our budget and keep in mind what's an actual realistic signing, because we aren't really um, we're not managed by Ole Gunnar Solskjaer. You know, with all due respect, we're not going to spend 80 million pounds to sign Harry Maguire. So I think Eric Ten Hag's a smart manager. He probably would have discussed, you know, had this meeting about the budget and transfers beforehand, and I think um, everything has basically been mapped out, I feel, and it's just right now the plan is coming into play. It's coming into motion. So I would just have patience. I think realistically we'll sign De Jong. I think realistically De Jong is going to come to us, and with Timber as well. I think I'm 75% to 80% sure that Timber will also join United. But that's about it from Ajax. You know.
Yeah.
I wouldn't look at any other players from Ajax. You know, if you're going to look at someone outside the Dutch league or outside Ajax.
Yeah, pretty much, Rahul. And I mean I think we're all done. All good.
Yeah, I think we've covered most of the relevant.
I think we did a good job, Rahul. We really spoke into depth about a few players. Frankie de Jong, for instance, Antony, everyone. Pretty funny moments at times, but we got the job done. Just to everyone watching the video, like, comment, hit that subscribe button. We're not far away from 400 subscribers, which would be absolutely amazing. Share around to all your friends, families, whatever, to expand the channel. Please go follow on our socials, Instagram, TikTok. TikTok, you'll see my rants on it. Twitter, Twitch, Facebook, YouTube, we're literally everywhere. You can't get rid of us, Rahul. We're everywhere, aren't we? We're everywhere. You can't get rid of us. No matter what you try to do, you're not getting rid of us. It's I don't know whether it's a good or a sad thing.
Yeah, better Glazers, I guess.
Well, better than those. No one can be as bad as them. Just no. But we have on Saturday we have Erik ten Hag improvements. So again, Rahul, I think if you want to let them know what happy about.
Yeah, I'd be back for that. There's going to be a lot to talk about there.
Yeah, so I mean, I guess we'll be talking about what the players he can improve, all that good stuff. And then Sunday we'll probably have the Let's Talk United podcast on Twitter. I'm not too sure yet. That'll be decided on what will be talked about in a minute. But Rahul, thanks for joining me once again. Really, really appreciate it. Everyone make sure to like, comment, hit that subscribe button, and we'll talk to you all on the next one. See you later.
See you, man. Take care.
Have a good weekend to all and yourself, Rahul.
Yeah,
Right.
Same to you.
Right. See you later, everyone. Peace.